matando a niños de su edad, podemos darles las oportunidades que nosotros no tuvimos.
You play Ma and Pa in Belfast, and what wonderful performances, just amazing seeing you two together. In many ways, you have lived parallel careers. You're both from Ireland, you worked as models. I mean, I'm not going to explain your life to you because you know it pretty well. You get the gist. So the thing is, you hadn't crossed paths until Belfast, if I'm not mistaken. So did everything you have in common help you quickly form that bond that you can clearly see in the film with your characters?
You know, I'd spent so many years doing my best to avoid Jamie Dornan, and then it was just.
You were, am I right? So you were a big fan of mine, Caitriona, isn't that right? You were always sort of trying to get in touch and stuff.
People kept asking me if I knew who he was, and I'd be like, "Who?" No, no. It is strange. You know, we'd literally bumped into each other. I think about like 7 months before we started filming Belfast. Somebody had introduced us at Toronto Film Festival, but I think probably because of our similar stories, and we have a very similar approach to our work, I think, and to life, I suppose, in general. And it was such an easy, pleasurable experience working with Jamie. I mean, he's somebody who has a lot of integrity in his work and in his life, and you know, it was a real joy to work with him most days.
Listen to that.
That's beautiful. One of my favorite scenes in the film was when Pa thanks Ma for raising the kids. There's no resentment, there's just gratefulness and sadness that he wasn't there. I loved that. So it must have been really beautiful and especially deep playing these characters and doing scenes like that, right? Especially now that you're both parents.
Yeah, I have to say, when I read the script, I choked up on that scene too, you know. And then when we filmed that scene, we do it all in one shot, and I remember Ken coming up to me after and saying, "Listen, we're not going to come in for a close-up of you. I think it plays better in one shot," and having a moment of sort of vanity moment of going, "What do you mean? Like, I'm not getting my close-up." But actually, you know, it is one of my favorite scenes to watch in terms of how much it makes sense of the situation. You know, you have Jude and Lewis, you have the boys at the forefront of it, and then Ma and Pa are you know, trying to have this very, very big and important and strained conversation about their future and about the boys, whilst keeping the boys in that shot at all times. As an audience, they're right there, obviously, and so it just sort of, it's a much truer telling of what's happening in the story by keeping them in that picture instead of cutting to like a close-up of Caitriona or close up of me. And I think it's beautifully done, and that sort of sentiment isn't seen on screen enough, maybe, where a man is thanking his wife for raising the kids for the most part due to his absence. It's an important sentiment to see on screen. And
let's talk about the musical scene with Jamie singing, which he does a lot lately, because he was also amazing. It was a big moment to breathe and appreciate life in the film. Was it as cathartic for you filming it as it is for the audience seeing it?
Yeah, you know, it's such a pivotal moment in their relationship, and I think, you know, the underlying emotional sort of story that we're telling in that scene is so vital. You know, Pa is literally laying down his love and declaration of how much he loves Ma and how necessary that is for them to remember to kind of carry them through this really tough time that they're going through. But, you know, in the filming as well, it was a really joyous day. I think up to that point, we'd primarily been filming the nuclear family, so it was all very small scenes or in small groups. And this was one day we sort of had the entire cast all together. And so it did feel really joyous. And, you know, it's such a beautifully crafted scene. It's so romantic. Aletta, our choreographer, you know, created this beautiful movement for Jamie and I. And there's, you know, she's literally swept off her feet when Pa lifts her up, and that, you know, it's beautiful filming, stuff like that. But I think, you know, what Jamie was able to do and what we tried to do as actors, you know, about keeping the emotional core of that scene was also really important.
Si tocas a mi familia, te mato.
Vamos a tener que irnos de Belfast.
Lucharemos juntos.
Es la hora. ¿La hora de qué?
De la guerra.